Orel is a show that I feel everyone knows about at this point. So many YouTubers have made videos about the brilliance of the show, and for me, it is one of my favorite shows of all time, to the point it actually helped me decide what I wanted to do with my channel. So today I want to talk about it, but specifically two episodes. The two episodes that basically changed the direction of the whole show and brought things to a different light. Though before that, I want to say these are major spoilers, so if you do plan on watching the show, I highly recommend you do not watch this video and give the show a chance. So we start with the usual, just Clay, punishing Orel for whatever shenanigans he got up to. Clay then gets the idea of going on a hunting trip with Orel, which Orel's a little apprehensive about because, he doesn't really want to kill animals. Clay then shows Orel a pistol that he says is his birthright, only to just take it from him right after because, Clay is just an asshole. Deciding to go Orel packs because he just wants to be prepared and safe for everything, only for Clay just to completely shit on everything that he did and to tell him that, hey, I've already packed, and decides to throw everything away that Orel put together except for one shirt. And Orel actually explains why he really wants to keep the shirt.
This one's the closest to my heart. It's the one I was wearing when I realized that God doesn't love just me, but my whole family as much as me.
Alright, just try to keep it out of the way.
Though, once they get there, we see what Clay packed and put together for their little hunting trip. Once they get to the hunting, Orel just is not really able to kill any animals, which is really starting to make his dad angry and causing him to drink more and more. Though, let's be fucking honest here, Clay never needs an actual reason to drink. Being fed up, Clay then takes the gun and shoots a nearby deer, declaring himself as the winner and Orel as the loser. Though right after, he spots a bunny, but this is the problem. And even Orel tells him beforehand, that's not a bunny, that's a hunting dog. Which he then says,
Orel, hunting dogs are just nature's rabbits.
Next, we see Clay eating the dog while teasing Orel. And throughout all this, Orel is just becoming increasingly sad. And then we see him do something that is completely out of character for him. He calls out his dad by telling him he's too drunk and he's uncomfortable hunting with him. For those who don't know, Orel doesn't talk back to adult figures, especially his dad. And honestly, he's kind of a pushover to even just other children. So for him to do this, he was definitely pushed over the edge. After he just drinks more and goes on an unhinged speech about how everything Orel does is just half-assed and everything he does is at his fullest potential. Though for those who watch the show, we know that anything Clay does is not to any to fullest potential. Even when it comes to raising his own damn son, he half-asses it because he's a piece of shit. Though he later admits that he hates himself, but he quickly switches it up to how much he hates his wife, and then he compares her to his alcohol, something that constantly keeps him on a stranglehold. And throughout his dad's unhinged behavior, we just see Orel holding his gun tighter and tighter until we hear the gun go off and he just yells "Dad," and that's where the episode ends. When I first watched this, I was immensely surprised because this one episode changed up the entire formula of what more Orel was. We usually just see Orel being some happy-go-lucky kid getting in some trouble because he's always misinterpreting something within the Bible or someone's words, and then at the end of the episode, his father come in, give him a spanking, give him a speech, episode ends, hunky-dory, happy fun. This showed us how horrible Clay is as a human being and as a father. Orel has always looked up to his dad and saw his dad, as someone who's either right next to or right under God himself. And for Orel to finally see how his dad truly is and to see him break down scared, afraid of the man he's always looked up to, is worrying. Moving on to the next episode, we see something different just within the intro itself. Usually when God appears above the church, Orel is usually waving at God, but this time around, we just see him sitting there praying. Instead of acknowledging God, Orel is just sitting there praying to him. And we can only imagine it's because of what's happening currently to him, what happened in the last episode, of him having to deal with his father, him probably praying safety from his own father. Holy shit. Probably shouldn't say holy shit. So starting out, we find out what Orel shot, which just ends up being Clay's last bottle of alcohol, which Clay then berates him over, truly showing that yes, these bottles of alcohol have a chokehold on him. Right after this, Orel decides enough is enough, and he tells Clay that he truly has become a bad person.
It's because you become a bad person when you drink!
Which, of course, typical fashion, Clay decides It's punishment time, baby. But this guy is such a fucking idiot that he can't even get his own belt off. Pants fall down, trips over it, and guess what happens? Oh boy, guess what happens as he's sitting there on the fucking ground? Orel, being the good person he is, tries to help up his father. You know, he still loves his father and he doesn't want to see him like this. But Clay, being Clay, just slaps him off and sits there and starts crying. Like he has much to cry about right now after everything he just did to his own damn son. Screw this dude. Though right after Clay has his little sob, he decides it's time to man up. And this is where things really take a dark turn. While drunk and probably crazy out of his goddamn mind, he picks up a gun and just starts swinging it around Orel's area. Orel, terrified, tells him to be careful because he might shoot the gun by mistake. But Clay says,
Please, Orel, I know exactly what I'm doing.
Yeah, but you might shoot it off by mistake.
There aren't any mistakes either. No mistakes, no accidents.
and right as Orel says, but Clay shoots his own son. And at this point, you can probably guess what Clay does.
What have you done?
I got shot by you.
You sure did. You've got to learn to be more careful, son.
Clay proceeds to blame Orel because why not? Why fucking not? The man is pure diabolical at this point. Might as well just go full fucking demon mode. Orel then says they need cloth to stop the bleeding. What do you think Clay possibly will use? Maybe the tent for the alcohol, or maybe something he's currently wearing. No. He rips up Orel's lucky shirt and uses that. Also, Orel, being the smart kid that he is, brought a first aid kit. And you would think, just maybe, Clay will be happy that this is there to help out his son. Nah. Oh, no. Come on, we all know Clay at this point. He gets mad. Oh, he's mad that his son disobeyed him and just drinks the alcohol and goes, oops. God, this guy needs to be smited. He needs to be in the pits of hell for eternity, burning. Now, this is where I want to ask you guys something. What would you guys personally say or do after your father put you through all this torment? Because I'm going to be honest, what Orel says right after this was completely surprising to me, even though I just watched all this. He tells his father,
I hate you.
Now let's be honest, this is completely justified. It's just not something you would expect from Orel. Someone who doesn't say words like that. Someone who respects his father. But now he's seeing what his father truly is. It's just someone who doesn't give a damn about him. Now this is something that you really don't have to guess. Basically, like how Clay responds to this. He just says,
Hate away, sister. Hate away.
and then after he just passes out. But things get worse because a bear shows up. And because it is happening, Orel does the one thing that his father wanted him to do this entire time. To save the man who put him through hell, Orel shoots the bear after saying he's sorry. Throughout all this, Clay never wakes up. So Orel just has to sit there suffering. After night passes and Clay finally wakes up, we think, okay, maybe there's like a little glimmer of hope. Orel can finally get the help he's needed. No, Clay wakes up, just tell his son to throw his sleeping bag over him to block the sun so he can go back to sleep. This man's pathetic life was just saved, and we're just giving more and more of his abusive behavior. But of course, he doesn't know it's saved, so why give a damn? When Clay finally wakes up, he asks Orel what happened to him. And when Orel tells him, he says,
No, I didn't.
Look.
Oh, I don't remember that. So that means it's not my fault.
and there you go, guys. As long as you don't remember it, you're good to go. Clay then notices the bear, which he then asks Orel to make him proud by saying that he is the one that shot the bear. Right here is Orel's moment. Throughout the entirety of the show, he has been looking to make God and his father proud. Always looking for a way to, find that approval. So here, right now, all he has to do is tell him the truth.
No, Dad. You killed it.
And with that, Orel just did something that he has never wanted to do, and that is break a commandment. Not only did he lie, but he lied to his father. Something that not only his family, but the entirety of his town has basically bludgeoned into him. From the very day he was born, he was told to follow this. But in this moment, Orel doesn't care. Orel doesn't want to make his father happy. Orel doesn't want to have his father paying attention to him, getting any type of special love from him. Orel doesn't want his approval. So in this moment, he felt it was best just to keep him distant, to keep him away from him, to keep him, I guess, just to keep the relationship how it has always been. Clay basically being neglectful, unless it has something to do with his reputation. You know, why seek anything from the man who has shown you the fiery pits that, you know, they're always preaching about? And with that, that's the end of season 2. Like I said in the beginning, it is just completely different from what we got throughout the show. Basically, this was preparing us for what was going to happen in season 3. And season 3 is phenomenal. Funny enough, we actually weren't even supposed to get that. There was actually supposed to be more to more Orel, but they basically got canceled. And they wanted to end the show the way they wanted to end it. It was wild watching the change of everything. Watching just, you know, each new episode was something different, you know, start out the way, end the way, same thing over and over, to having continuity, showing like the true sides of these characters. We always saw Clay drinking, but, you know, we saw him with a smile. We saw, you know, like I said, Orel looking up to his dad, or, you know, Clay maybe, you know, always showing his personality, but we see the true side of him. He's just a drunk, angry person who hates himself and everyone around him, including his own son. And with that, I'm going to end it here. For those who have watched the video, I really appreciate it. Though I will say, I still highly recommend you watch the show. There's a lot that goes on to the show. There's a lot that I definitely didn't talk about, you know, with season 1, season 2, and then the season that I haven't, you know, said anything about, season 3, is definitely something I recommend watching, and I truly hope you guys enjoy it. Also, I know it's been a while, but I really appreciate you guys for checking out my channel. Thank you for all new subscribers. Thank you for checking out my old videos. At some point, I do plan on making another video about the topic of the last couple videos. Then, you know, I saw some comments about checking out things in Marvel. So I do appreciate that. I will look into those things, you know, check around. Pretty damn sure I'm going to be highly disappointed, just like last time, because I hate it. Sorry. And with that, I'm out. See you.